Mining. Just gotta keep on mining. Just gotta keep on mining. What's a little boy like you doing way down in this mining facility? Oh golly, I've been mining this ore for almost a day straight. Ever since they fixed up that big miner mix-up, it's just been me down here. Man, all the little boys like you are up on land making memories and basking in the light of the blue sky. But hey, I'm not jealous. Work is work, as they say. Well, while you're down here, why not pick up a pickaxe and help me out for a bit, if you don't mind? If you don't mind, I'd like to talk to you a little bit, help pass the time. You get kind of bored in the mine shaft. I'm sure you've already been able to tell. Well, this story happened a few years back when I worked as a low-level manager at GameStop. Yeah, those were the days. It was my first ever job in a management position, and I was enjoying it for what it was, Sure, the pay was crap, but I got to talk about video games I love and inform customers about all the new games and information that I always had on hand. This was before I really dove into the deepest, darkest parts of the internet, back before I was really familiar with quote-unquote memes and 4chan and 9gag. Well, looking back now, I was pretty naive and oblivious to the problems the internet posed to people. Anyways, I was working one night with a fellow employee named Jack. It was around 7 and the shift had gone on without incident. Pretty normal, average, quiet night. The store was dead at the moment, since people were at home out eating dinner around this time or playing games in the mall, whatever kids are doing these days. I was sorting games and I worked until the phone rang. Now, usually a phone ringing didn't mean anything. Little did I know that one phone call would change my perception of the world. I promptly answered the phone, greeting nonchalantly. Thank you for calling GameStop, where we buy and sell used games. This is... How can I help ya? From the other end of the call, I hear... Do you have a game called Battletoads? Now, I was familiar with Battletoads, and I knew this was a trolling phone call. It was a prank. I rolled my eyes and I hung up the line, shrugging and going about my work. And then suddenly... another phone call.
Do you have Battletoads?
And then another and another. For the next 2 hours, the phone didn't stop ringing. My associate and I spent the next 2 hours answering each and every one of these calls. Our work completely disrupted. And with each phone call, the callers became more and more vapid, violent, and vehement. There were calls where people played pornography noise over the phone. Calls asking for my picture with a timestamp on B, loud, obnoxious, roaring noises, and so on and so forth. It was one of the longest 2 hours I've ever experienced. Oh, when I got home, I cried. Yes, dear listeners. A full-grown man went home and shed tears because of phone calls. In retrospect, I think I overreacted, but I was really upset, okay? How could people I didn't even know hate me so much when they didn't even know me? However, I got over it pretty quick, and after a couple minutes, I promptly passed out. And then suddenly I was awoken by another phone call. For the next 2 months, I received phone calls with people specifically asking for me. Threatening me in the store that I worked at that the calls wouldn't stop until I posted on 4chan with my name, photo, and a timestamp on B. It got so bad that I was forced to relocate stores. And yet the calls continued to follow me at the new store I worked at. The phone number for the store that I worked at was posted on Encyclopedia Dramatica, and harassing calls would not stop even to this day. After my 2-year tenure at GameStop, those stores I worked at still received odd phone calls here and then asking for and Battletoads. I I was upset. Yes, reasonably so. Probably not in hindsight, but at the time it really took its toll on these old bones. I was depressed at the time, on medication, and the calls only made things worse for me. It ate away at my self-esteem, and my mood was at an all-time low. I guess this experience really taught me about the lengths that bored, faceless strangers will go to entertain themselves. Well, not that I'm better than any of them, am I right, laddie? Oh, what you got there? Well, boy, I'll be damned. If you haven't struck gold, I don't know what the